And so we're headed up the hill, and we get about 2.5 hours in, and Levi has his backpack on, and he's got his arms under his shoulder straps, and he's grabbing a hold of his chest strap here, and he's going along. All of a sudden he trips and he falls. Now he cannot get his arms out, right? Boink! Oh yeah, he face plants in the trail. He can't get his arms out because he's laying on them. And his face, his mouth is full of dirt. He's spitting dirt out his eyes. And now Taylor is coming over, and Taylor has a backpack on. And, when you got a backpack on and you're trying to be graceful, you're not. There's just no being graceful with a backpack on. And he comes over to help Levi. It's like an astronaut coming. I'm going to get you. I'll be right there. And he comes over, and he steps on a stick, which comes up and whack, hits Levi in the face. Levi's like, Taylor! I'm sorry. And he's trying to get out of the way. We help Levi up. We dust him off, we get his pack off, and he's and now he has to make some decisions. We still got like 5.5 miles to go. We gotta wait to go. Had he made the decision rooted in fear, discouragement would come on him like a lion. Powerlessness would overtake you. But instead, he made the decision based on vision and love, really. And he gets up, we're sitting around, we're eating some gorp, some trail mix with chocolate in it. Everything tastes better with chocolate in it, right? Handfuls of peanuts with chocolate is beautiful. So we're just sitting around and getting happier. And finally he stands up and he says, okay, I'm ready, let's go. I said, all right, let's go. So he loads up, and here we go. We take off further down the trail. Eventually, we arrive. We're there. We finally have made it. We moved camp a couple times, but there we are. We are exhausted. It is 8.5 hours of hiking. I told everybody to smile. Libby was the only one that got it. We are there. We are there. We are happy to be there. Now imagine, Jesus walked up to Peter and Andrew and John and James and said, follow me, or I will pour hot, scalding oil on your head. See, there was no threat involved in the call to be a disciple ever. There is no foundation of fear bred into the disciples by Jesus. He calls his disciples, and they see something in his eyes. You know what they see in his eyes? They see the Father. If you've seen me, you've seen the Father. They didn't even know it, but there's something going on in the eyes of this man to where I'm going to drop everything, and I'm going to follow him. See, fear will not do that. Fear will not compel you. Love will compel you. And it's that love of God that compels us to change our whole life. But so many of us were spawned by fear. And not just by God, but it kind of made sense when we heard that God was a threatening God. Because I was raised by a threatening parent. And I had threatening teachers, and I had threatening coaches, and I have a threatening spouse. I just preserved threat in my world. Of course God's a threatening God. It's everywhere. Do what I say or I'm going to hurt you is everywhere. We have to be careful how we approach this word. And James chapter 1 tells us that when we look into the word, it can be like a mirror, like a man who looks in the mirror. There's this image here that I want you to catch. I know it's out of context a little bit, but I want you to catch the idea that when you look into something, all you get is a reflection. And when you look into your Bible, you get a reflection. You get some feedback about who is looking at that word. You know, if you're part of the Aryan Brotherhood and you look at your Bible, guess the theology that is looking back at you. You sort and find it, it's laying right there. Because of who's looking at it. So, you have to understand, you're bringing something to this word when you look at it. And he says, when that man turns away and is no longer looking at it, and he forgets who he is. Well, the same thing is true. If you forgot who you are when you looked at it, you're going to pervert what you're looking at. If you don't remember who you are when you look into the Word, you will misunderstand the Word. If you forget that you are a dearly loved child that is worth eternity's pursuit to regain and to capture and to pull back in. If you don't understand who you are